Alright. The name is Dale, doing the movie reviews for Just Mercy and also 1917. These movie reviews are done on behalf of Audio Liquor Magazine. Going to start off with Just Mercy. This is a film based on a true story. It's a legal drama. It's about a young defense attorney named Bryan Stevenson, who's played by Michael B. Jordan, who's determined to get the murder conviction of Walter McMillian, who's played by Jamie Foxx, overturned. Walter McMillian is accused and convicted of murdering a white female. And this took place in 1986, I believe. And you have a strong cast across the board. You have Brie Larson, who plays the assistant to Michael B. Jordan's character, Bryan Stevenson. You have Tim Blake Nelson, who plays a convict who's in prison. And to get off the subject, speaking of Tim Blake Nelson, he does a really good job in his HBO series called The Watchmen. He plays a character called Looking Glass. And if you have not seen the Watchmen series on HBO, the first season, I highly recommend it. You have Regina King playing the lead. She's like this mass vigilante who goes out taking out white supremacist groups. And this series does not shy away from racism. It doesn't shy away from the ugly history of racism in this country. But I digress. Getting back to the cast of Just Mercy, you have O'Shea Jackson Jr., the son of Ice Cube. He does a good job. He plays a convicted person who's on death row. Walter McMillian, Jamie Foxx character, is on death row as well, if I didn't mention that. And then you got Rob Morgan, who's also on death row. And you've seen that guy in many things on Netflix. He's in Stranger Things, he's in Daredevil, he was in Mudbound, which was a Netflix movie. So he's a familiar face. He's all over the place. You can catch him in a lot of films and series. And like I said, he gets accused for killing this white female in a town he's never been in. And I think Jamie Foxx did such a good job acting. I believe he should have got a Best Supporting Actor nomination for the Oscars. He's that good. I think he should have got it instead of Al Pacino for The Irishman. Now don't get it twisted. Al Pacino is a living legend. He's one of the GOATs. I thought he did a good job playing Jimmy Hoffa in The Irishman, but I thought Jamie Foxx's portrayal of Walter McMillian was a little better. So I think he should have got the nomination. But anyway. And no matter how many films, docs, series are made on this subject about wrongly convicted folks, I still think they need to make as many of these projects about this subject as they can, as long as it's quality, as long as it's done well. And this film was done very well. I must be getting sensitive at my older age because I found myself tearing up a little, just a little. I have to admit, my wife was clowning me, but it's nothing to be ashamed of. It was that heartfelt, should I say. It was that hard hitting when I was there watching it, where it made me tear up. I don't think I got like that since maybe, I can't even remember getting like that for a movie. Maybe Tears Under the Sun way back in the day at a particular scene. But anyway, so that's a recommendation in itself for you to go see it if it gets me like that. And even without knowing nothing about this true story, I was still able to predict the outcome. But that doesn't take anything away from the film. It's still a good movie nonetheless. And I highly recommend you go see it. Another fact about this film, the guy that O'Shea Jackson Jr. plays, he actually was in prison for 30 years before Bryan Stevenson was able to get him off. Now that's not in the film, but that's something I found out after the fact. and he was wrongly accused of killing someone. So that's just crazy. It just never ceased to amaze me the lengths they would go to lock black folks up and derail us. It just never ceased to amaze me. So I highly recommend it. I give this movie an A-. I was thinking B+, but I'm gonna give it an A-. Now I'm gonna move on to 1917. This film is about two British soldiers during the First World War who are given a damn near impossible mission to deliver a message deep in enemy territory that will stop, I guess you could say, the slaughter of 1,600 men, soldiers. And one of the guys who sent on this mission, brother, is in the company that he has to deliver this message and save them from running into this deadly trap that the Germans have set for the British soldiers who are fighting in this war. And the cast, the two soldiers, one of the soldiers is played by Dean Charles Chapman, I believe that's his name, and the other soldier was played by George Mackay, I believe that's his name. I'm not too familiar with these two actors. They did a good job. They carried the film because the film is really focused on them going on this extremely dangerous mission. And I've seen them in things in the past, like series maybe or films. I just can't think of what exactly. But anyway, you have some strong, familiar actors who play small roles throughout the film. You got Mark Strong, who has a short but significant role in the film. Benedict Cumberbatch, he plays a small role. There's another actor too that's very familiar, that's well known, that plays a short but significant role at the beginning. But anyway, I think Sam Mendes, I believe that's his name. He's the director. He's done films like The Spectre and Skyfall, which were two James Bond movies, the last two James Bond movies before this new one is about to come out. He did the two previous ones. He actually did Jarhead, which is a very underrated film. Jamie Foxx was in that movie. Speaking of Just Mercy, that I just did the review for. Then you got Road to Perdition, which is one of my favorite films. Then you got American Beauty. He also did American Beauty, which is considered a classic by many. You got Roger Deakins, who does an amazing job doing cinematography for 1917. They should get an Oscar for that. And I love the way this film is shot. It's a very unique technique they use. It makes you feel like it's one long continuous shot. It makes you feel like you're right there with the two soldiers, like you're on the mission with them, like you're going into enemy territory along with these two soldiers. It puts you right into the action. The only problem I had is at the very beginning of the movie, it felt like the shot went a little too long, where they're walking through the trench before they go into the mission. I thought that went on a little too long, but other than that, I have no problem with it. It's a great movie technically, and entertainment wise, it is a good movie, very good movie. It's getting a lot of Oscar nominations, and it should. There's very few movies made about the First World War. You have a ton of films done on World War II, but very few that I know of are the First World War, which made this film refreshing. So I'm gonna give 1917 an A-. Another good movie you should go see at the theater. Now I'm going to do a shameless plug about an Amazon film. It's on Amazon Prime. Directed and produced by my folks, Anthony Green. It's called American Comic. I recommend you see it if you have Amazon. It's about 8 diverse DMV. If you're not familiar with DMV, stand for, not the motor vehicles. It stands for DC, Maryland, Virginia. You have 8 comedians from that area, from this area, the area that I live in, and they come together to do this stand-up film. And you got different portions of their stand-up, you know, going back and forth with the other ones and kind of interchanging different parts of their stand-up to keep it going. You're not just seeing like, it's not just one, and then he's done in another one. He's like goes back and forth with all 8. My man Anthony did a good job. I'm being biased here because that's the fam. And I can't forget Cheryl Brown too. She definitely had something to do with this. I think she was one of the directors as well. So check that out on Amazon Prime. I'm sorry I don't know the names of the comedians. I should. I wish I had kind of looked this up before I did this. But anyway, you have a black comedian. I thought he was the best. You had a Latino comedian. He was funny. An Arabic comedian. I believe he's Arabic. He was funny. They were the 3 funniest to me. And then you have like an Asian female. You have a black female, white guy. So you have like almost the full range of the rainbow doing comedy. So check that out. I'm done. I'm finished, and there you have it.